Okay, yeah, let's begin. All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you so much joining us on our Sunday meeting, as usual. So this week we're gonna have our usual panelists joining us from Turkey. Mustafa Polat is gonna be with us, and then Hikmet Hocam is gonna join us from Arizona, and finally we have Kolm Hocam joining us from UK. All right. Oh, but we're going to talk about this week. So let's see what we have discussed last week. And think like no, we already started Seventh Truth. We're going to continue from where we left off. And I think we just left only one more paragraph last week. But overall, if in order to remind ourselves what we are discussing, that so far in Seventh Truth, we talked about the divine attributes of Allah. So then one of them was we are still talking about the preserver, and the other one is guardian. And so far, Stadvidism one is explaining how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so Allah Almighty, protects and maintains all things in perfect order. I think that's what we discussed. And with perfect order, of course, perfect balance. And the emphasis is, of course, every creation from the smallest ones, even the seeds, to humanity, human race, preserved, of course, meticulously and with meticulous care. I guess that was one of the emphasis, and which, of course, what we learned so far is that it's a reflection of lost knowledge and wisdom. And what else we discussed was that if I remember, I guess he is the one Supreme Trust and everything is actions, of course. I mean, just all our actions and activities, everything is being recorded. And we gave some museum example and a guardian and a guard itself. And I think like there's another so far was example was coming some of our brothers like has been pointed out how this like just mirror kind of reflection happens. And we talked about the inside and outside kind of effects and just how to understand. And we talked about even just this from the seeds, the memory, and the cycle of all this mechanism in nature to how is it like stored and mirrored, which eventually, of course, demonstrates the universality in the divine preservation. All right, I think this is enough for so far. I believe these are the ones that I remember. Okay, so without further ado, I guess, so this is where we left off from the paragraph starts with yes, and then inshallah, let's continue, and then we're going to take a break and let our panelists share their insights with us. Let's begin then. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. All right, so seven truth from the Saudi Nur, 10th word. Uh, so start with someone continues like this. All right, yes, from this manifestation of divine preservation, it can be understood that the master of all creation devotes great care to the order of all things that come into existence in his kingdom. He pays great attention to the function of his sovereignty and lavishes great care on the lordliness of his kingship. And so he ensures that all occurrences and services, however seemingly trivial, are recorded, and he preserves in numerous things the form of everything that happens in his domain. His name, Preserver, Al-Hafiz, shows that an important record of deeds will in the future be weighed up and subjected to a thorough examination. The registers of all human deeds will be opened up and revealed. Human beings are made noble by the fact that each one of them is God's representative on earth and a recipient of the trust. They witness the universality of God's lordliness and proclaim God's unity in this realm of multiplicity as overseers and witnesses to the worship and glorification of God carried out by all other beings. Therefore, humans are, in one sense, party to that worship and glorification. Is it at all possible, then, that such beings should do all of this and then sleep peacefully in their graves without ever being awakened to the truth or question regarding their deeds? Is it at all possible that they could evade the plane of resurrection and avoid being tried at the supreme tribunal? No, such a thing is clearly impossible. All right, I think it's going to start another paragraph. Maybe it's a good time for us to just to take a break, at least before we start a long footnote so far. Let's just scroll up back again somewhere here, and let's just now with the just last week's a little bit of kind of summary and just a one page of reading. Now I'd like to go back to my panelists that we have invited this week and to be with us, and let's begin with Mustafa Palat from Turkey. What would you like to say, Mustafa Hocam, for us so far what we have read, and of course, maybe just from last week, maybe just you were not here, but at least you know the concept and of course some of the treaties. At least we just you can make some sense out of it. All right, go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Inshallah. So, I mean, the paragraph is very clear.
Hmm.
It's very straightforward, and it gives us the it's kind of an
Hmm.
caution to us.
Hmm.
It start warns us that since everything is recorded, and we
Hmm.
know that Ustad has been brought up the concept of hafziya, that Allah records everything
Hmm.
from the minute seeds to the trees, right?
Hmm.
So every action of the trees are recorded in its seed, and we see that in front of our eyes. Mm. So there are many evidences of Allah
Hmm.
recording everything in front
Hmm.
of us. And if a basic life form like the plants are not avoid from this, and are recorded, even their actions are recorded in their seeds, then of course a higher level of life and that is manifested on us as human beings. Allah's many names are manifested in much clearer sense in us, on us, and
Hmm.
so there has to be a record that
Hmm.
records all of our deeds,
Hmm.
and it gives us the responsibility that we will be taken into account about what have we done in this life.
Hmm.
So we have to be prepared for it. And
Hmm.
Ustad also mentioned, take our focus into that. It's not about just being a human in and of itself, just alone. What is it to be a human? Ustad Nursi also defines what is it to be human. It is you are the representative of Allah in this earth, and you are also presenter and representative and the presenter of all the deeds of other creatures to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Hmm.
So you are in a very special position.
Hmm.
It's not just about being thankful of what has been given to you.
Hmm.
It is also about presenting the worship of the other creatures of Allah
Right, right.
to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So
Hmm.
we have a great responsibility.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we have to be aware of it, and we have to be more cautious in what we do
Hmm.
and how we worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is my initial take from this passage.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Good points. All right. Just while everything is like still fresh, maybe in the same order that I'm seeing like on my right hand, maybe Merujam can join now. Merujam, would you like to join in and say a couple things about what Mustafa said and what we have read so far?
I think I'm good. I'm gonna listen if you guys don't mind. I'm gonna
Oh, sorry.
listen.
No. Yeah.
Okay, inshallah.
That's all right. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Understand. Understand. All right then. So, Kolajam. So, the ball is on your court. So, yeah, floor is yours, sir. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was
Yeah.
planning to say what Hikmet has just said, actually.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
I've got something that came
Mhm,
into my mind just towards
mhm,
the end of the
mhm,
passage. Well,
mhm,
actually, it's I think it's towards the end of the passage. No, it's not. It's there. But
mhm.
Said has a question, so
Oh,
let's
yeah,
go
maybe
to
we
him
can go
first.
first. Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
certainly. Yeah, Saidujam. Yeah, before Kolajam is gonna share his thoughts and everything with us. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Do you hear me?
Yes, yes, clearly.
Yeah, yes. Okay. I want to make sure.
Mhm,
Well, it's probably it has been mentioned lots of places in Risale's Ustad's
mhm,
Risale's the second paragraph, the realm of multiplicity.
mhm,
Uh, they meaning they refers to human being
mhm,
witness the universality of God's lordliness and proclaim
mhm,
God's unity
mhm,
in this realm of multiplicity. Maybe we can, I mean, yes, first paragraph is just like other brother mentions, point is kind of clear, but
mhm.
maybe it might be good to reiterate and remind ourselves uh, how should we uh, become witness of universal of God's loveliness in realm of multiplicity. How should we understand what is realm of multiplicity?
Oh,
And
oh. Mhm,
and how should we witness this universality of God's lordliness and proclaim His unity
mhm.
in this realm of multiplicity?
I see. All right. Yeah, that's a good question then. All right. Well, Kolajam, so Said asked this question. So basically, just how can we understand this sentence? So we witness the universality of God's lordliness and proclaim God's unity in this realm of multiplicity. How one should understand this sentence, or just is it enough to say the kalima shahada? So just, or should we live and practice this sentence, sir?
I always get to answer Said's questions,
Yeah.
Sorry.
which was clearly meant for
It's
Hikmet,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's an honor. It's an honor
Yeah.
because he asks extremely
Mhm.
interesting and quite involved
Yeah.
questions, actually.
Excellent. Yeah.
But what you said there,
Mhm.
Nazif,
Mhm.
is it enough to say the Shahada? Well,
Mhm.
it depends how we understand the Shahada, because the
Mhm.
Shahada has to be constant.
Mhm.
It's like when people ask other people, when did you take your Shahada? I mean,
Mhm.
there's no when,
There's no
you know.
way. Yeah. Mhm.
The
Mhm.
Shahada is something that we have to witness constantly.
Mhm.
Um, but going back to Said's question,
Mhm.
uh, the realm of multiplicity is the realm in which we see two main names at play. One
Mhm.
is Al Ahad and one is Al Wahid. And if we prioritize one over the other,
Mhm.
it gives us a skewed understanding of Allah's rububiyyah, His lordliness.
Mhm.
Um, when we look at the single snowflake and we conclude that only one
Mhm.
creator could have created this
Mhm.
snowflake, then that shows Allah's uniqueness. But it's not enough to affirm His ahadiyya. His wahidiyya also needs to be affirmed, and that is that every snowflake, showing similar. Well, all snowflakes show similarity in their uniqueness,
Mhm. Mhm.
and this is easier maybe to understand with things like snowflakes. But when
Mhm.
things are sort of disparate and sort of on the surface disconnected, um, for example, human acts And we can go back to snowflakes, right? Who creates snowflakes? Who creates human acts? It's very easy for human beings to attribute human acts to the self, to the human himself or herself. But actually, everything is created. Everything created belongs to Allah. Our actions are also created. We cannot attribute them to ourselves. So this notion of wahidiyya shows that there are not multiple gods, or there are not several gods, which is what the Quraysh believed. They believed in Allah, but they also believed in other gods. And unfortunately, we do exactly the same as well. We believe in Allah, but we also say, well, I did it. I made this. Or we say, I'll take some medication because I have a headache. And then we say the medication cured my headache.
Cured my, yeah.
It's the same thing.
Same stuff, yeah.
Wahidiyya is there for us to understand in this multiplicity. And it's not easy because we are in multiplicity. We're in the realm of many different things, right? Countless things. And countless types of things, countless kinds of things. And they can be very, very misleading, or we can be misled. We can mislead ourselves into thinking that there must be multiple sources of existence. This is a very old idea, At the very beginning, it was a kind of polarization, good and evil. Good was created by from one source, evil from another source. But we have fragmented that now. And if you don't believe in the one creator, you believe that everything creates itself. And so you believe in multiple creators. So Ahad and Wahid have to go together. Ahad, why Ahad? Because that prevents us from thinking that things are somehow created on a conveyor belt like a photocopy machine. Allah, God starts the thing moving, and then everything then is just like photocopies. So Ahad shows us no, Allah is creating every instant. Kullu yawman huwa fi sha'an. Every moment. And Ahad shows us that the creator is unique and ever present with his creation. Wahid shows us that everything in existence goes back to that one source, and it doesn't go to multiple sources of existence. That's as much as I can say in answer to the question. I don't know whether it has answered it or not.
Yeah. Well, Said, what do you think?
It did. It was greatly explained. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
And just quickly, because this is what I was thinking of before, where it says here, his name preserver al-Hafiz shows that an important record of deeds will in the future be weighed up and subjected to a thorough examination. The registers of all human deeds will be opened up and revealed. I think that we need to move away from thinking of this like an accountant's ledger book, with so many salat performed, so many fasts, Ramadan fasts, Hajj has been gone, all these acts of worship. We are not judged quantitatively because we are not affected quantitatively. We're affected qualitatively. And so when we do something wrong knowingly, it in Quran it says there is a rijs. Every sin makes a rijs, like a black mark. Now again, this is a kind of condescending to our understanding. What happens is our heart gets damaged. And damage to the heart, again, it's not quantitative, because the heart, not the physical heart. The physical heart may be damaged, but that's another issue. But the heart that is important, the heart in which we understand Allah and come to know Allah, to love Him, and all of these things, that can become damaged. And that damage is qualitative damage. This is why hell is indeterminate for unbelievers, because they can't pay back, quantitatively. Like, for example, if I break a law, for example, I may be fined. I may break the law 10 times and I may be fined 10 times and I pay back my due. But that's not how it works with the next world, because the damage we do to ourselves is qualitative damage. And how can you quantify unbelief?
Unbelief.
You can't count it, right?
Mhm.
This is why hell is very painful. Like therapy, believers may also taste hell,
Mhm.
for a very short time.
Mhm.
Um, but unbelief is qualitative, and
Mhm.
therefore we shouldn't think of right. We can win heaven by the
Mhm.
amount of acts of worship we perform.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that anyone here has that understanding, because in Risale that understanding doesn't exist.
Mhm.
But as a community, unfortunately, we do. We have a very transactional
Mhm.
understanding of reward and
Yeah.
punishment, unfortunately.
Abs-
And I think we need
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
move away from that. Anyway,
Absolutely,
continue.
yes, sir. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yes, it's just like you just said. So it's like it cannot be quantified, and it's just so even like it's been so like we are making it right like reading the Risale, of course, when it's been mentioned several times and emphasized. So even like you just said, with the quantity of the deeds and everything is done, so there's no way kind of winning or something paradise or something. It can only be presented granted. So and like you just said, so how about like the other side? So you cannot quantify your deeds and then like just keep it somewhere so then I can be just kept out of hellfire. So yeah, no, it's just as you just said, like clearly, it's just too qualitative and cannot be kind of thought about like an accountant. And of course, I'm just like living it, right? And at the same time, repenting continuously. And yeah, that's why like it is well recommended for many Nur students to read like Lisman daily, and of course, attend these kind of halakas, and then have some sort of kind of your our own kind of just self reading kind of just daily reading hours or maybe minutes at least if we can just somehow like it's meant be with ourselves in order to contemplate and our actions and everything. All right, yeah, that's a great kind of recommendation suggestion, Kulaja. Thank you so much. It's a good point. Absolutely. All right. Anyone else would like to add maybe more or less on this, Mustafa Hocam, Merhaba? So just let me know, or else maybe we can move on reading the next passage, paragraph. All right, so let's move on then to next paragraph. So we stopped at the question. So it says, let's just repeat it one more time. The last question, at least, is it at all possible that they could evade the plane of resurrection and avoid being tried at this supreme tribunal? No, such a thing is clearly impossible. He continues, starting to see like this. Or is it possible that human could flee and hide themselves in a kind of self-annihilation, concealing themselves below ground, far from the view of the powerful and glorious one, to whose power all things bear witness? All of the certain happenings of the past and the possible occurrences of the future are miracles of divine power, belonging to the one who creates the winner and the spring together as a kind of mini resurrection. Now, there is a footnote here, number 28. It continues from the footnote like this. So the whole of the past, from the present moment to the very beginning of creation, consists of a series of occurrences. Every day, year, and century that has existed is like a line, a page, or a book written by the pen of destiny. The hand of God's power has inscribed his miraculous signs on the pages of time with the utmost wisdom and order. Similarly, the future from the present moment until the resurrection also consists of possible occurrences known as contingencies. The past consists of occurrences, the future of contingencies. Now, if we compare these two chain of time, as Nursi calls them, it will be seen clearly that being that created yesterday and brought into existence the creatures peculiar to its capable also of creating tomorrow and all that goes with it. Again, there is no doubt that the beings and wonders of that amazing display we call the past are the miraculous works of a powerful and glorious one. They bear a decisive witness that the powerful one is capable of creating the future and its contingencies, as well as manifesting all of its wonders. The one who creates an apple must, without doubt, be able to create all of the world's apples, as well as bringing the vast spring into being. Conversely, the one who cannot create a spring is also by default unable to create a single apple either, for the apple is fashioned at the same workbench as the spring. Each apple is an example in miniature of an apple tree, or even a whole garden or a cosmos. The apple seed that bears within the life story of the huge tree is, from the point of view of artistry, so miraculous that the one who creates it thus can be incapable of nothing. And so the one who creates today is able to also to create the day of resurrection. And it is only the one capable of creating the spring that is capable too of creating the resurrection. The one who saws all of the worlds of the past to the ribbon of time and displays them there with utmost wisdom and order is, without doubt, capable of sewing other things, other beings to the ribbon of future time and displaying them there. In several parts of the Risale, particularly the 22nd word, we proved with utter certainty that the one who cannot create everything cannot create anything, and the one who can fashion one thing can fashion everything. Also, if the creation of everything is entrusted to a single being, the creation of all things becomes as easy as the creation of a single thing. This is how easy and facility arise. If, on the contrary, it is entrusted to numerous causes and ascribed to multiplicity, the creation of a single thing becomes as difficult as the creation of everything. Such difficulty approaches the border of impossibility. And I think this is it, right? The footnote. All right, so now it's a little kind of maybe longer one, but I think we get the gist of it. And then hopefully, and then there's also kind of reference to the 22nd word and everything. I believe our panelists are capable of, like I said, remembering those kind of places. All right, let's go back to the question and then, of course, the footnote. Now, let's hear what our panelists are going to say, especially for this footnote and their thoughts are. So, Sojam, same order. Let's start with you. What would you
Okay.
like to say? Yeah.
So Ustad has put other footnotes in previous places related to this kind of. He has given the examples of a train coming, right, with the wagons every spring, right, bringing food, and then it leaves that train. So the train represents kind of the seasons and the time as well. So there is this cyclical move, right? Seasons following years and years following centuries and so on. So it's like a big clock, right?
Yes,
Ustad
sir.
has given that example as well in previous chapters. That has, many times within inside of it. So and it's this is also a kind of an explanation that has asked by the Said Abi about and multiplicity and the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He also, it's mentioned how it should be understood. So who creates one thing has the ability to create everything, right? So this is the one of the main points here, the gist of it. Yes, who has created everything should be the creator of one thing. The other point that I deduced from here is that we know there is a start to the universe as we know it, right? This universe, as we know, has a beginning. So if this universe has a beginning, it has to has an end. So if this season started, if winter has started, winter is gonna end. If summer has started, it's gonna end. So whatever has a beginning has to have an end. So and this is also brings our attention to our, being transient, our short life, just like every other creature has a short life. The universe has a short life. The world has a short life. And we as human beings has a very short life. So we have to go back and think our limited capacity, and praise Allah's unlimited power, as it is given the example of apple, right? It's whoever creates an apple, let's, if we can think about it more in a we can make the links between the apple tree and the world and the universe. So for an apple to be created, it has to have a tree. For a tree to give that fruit, it needs the summer season. So for the summer season to be in place, the earth has to be tilted in a certain angle against the sun.
Yes, sir, yeah.
And the earth has to revolve around itself, and
Revolve around
the sun
itself.
has to be in that particular precise distance for the sun to have the right amount of light to feed that tree, and go and so on and so forth, the water, the rain, and everything. So that apple is connected to everything. You cannot isolate any incident, any
Absolutely.
bounty in our life.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if everything is attached to each other, linked to each other, it has to have a coordinator, the prime coordinator, if you will. Because maybe it's a philosophical term, maybe, but so a whole power, an all-powerful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has control over everything. So and this is the reality of time as well. That if there is a cyclical move of the seasons, everything comes in place and goes, and life form starts, and then so the summer is now ending. We have seen a lot of creatures that we haven't seen during this winter time, and now they're gonna be disappearing again. So it has to remind us that we are also transient. We have a limited time, and it will pass soon. So this is my take.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, awesome. Yes, a great point. Yeah, and then again, like I just mean, yeah, drawing our attention towards, yeah, thinking about like the big picture, and then at the same time, like it's going to make it as small as possible. So then, like it's going to work close to the topic and subject. Yeah, that's good. Well done. Well done. All right, cool job. So, what would you like to say for like this been Mustafa Jam's comment, and also, of course, I mean, just for what should we just maybe see in this footnote overall, your recommendations and everything. Floor is yours, sir.
I thought Hikmet was second.
Oh, you want to jump? Yeah.
I
Let's
don't have that
drag
much.
him. Let's
I
drag him
don't have that
again.
much to say, and he got out of it the first time, so I think he should go now.
No, Colin, I'm going to listen, inshallah, today. I'll like to listen, please. Let me listen to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. His answer is
Oh,
ditto.
he pleads so nicely. We should
Yeah.
let him. Yeah. I don't really have much to ask what to add to what Mustafa said. Actually, I mean, I think he covered all the main points. I think again, largely this footnote is kind of reiterating and corroborating the notion of Ahad and Wahid. Really, he says here, the one who creates the apple must create the orchard. The one who creates today is surely capable of creating all days. So there's a kind of the Ahd and Wahid vibe here going through this, and he's just giving some more examples. He's just opening up, because that sentence that we looked at before, the one which Brother Said asked about, is a very concise sentence. And really needs to be opened up. And I think that this footnote is doing that to a certain extent. The notion of ahad and wahid is very important.
Yeah.
We mentioned
Yes,
Saeed, his hand raised.
and then it's his hand raised.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that
Mm.
can that be the reason? I think this
Mhm.
chapter whole is proof of hereafter, right? So someone has problem with existence of unity of the God will probably will have difficulties to understanding the. I think that might that be the reason starts injects intentionally maybe those unity of the gods, particularly such examples, Apple Spring examples was kept given.
Mhm.
So just highlighting those things that if someone has still concern and issue with the unity of God, so
Mhm.
just keep injecting and this reminding these analogies, Apple Spring analogies. So if there's if of course if someone has no problem with the believing Allah, so so believing people unity of Allah will have no problem with believing hereafter. So I think that might be maybe the case. You start skip just this wahidiyat and hadiyat examples, just reminding us. If someone still this someone will take this chapter and read to convince himself that there will be hereafter, there's a hereafter. But again, this long footnotes clearly just take place, explain, showing us the unity of God. Those analogies was keep given, and there is, I think, maybe reason might be try not to any left gap in someone's mind that there is a unit of God. So I think two main remedies as the given this, and then connect with the okay if unity of God, then you will be actually questioned. You put your actions and your life will not be waste. So make connection with that. Those two big, I think, like the remedies, like a medicines given at the same time in this footnotes.
Mhm. All right.
Yeah, my interpretation. Yeah.
Yes,
It's
thank
it's
you.
make a
Thank you for
connection
that.
with this. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wahdaniyat, apples. Those examples were keep giving constantly.
Mhm.
Apple, the connection with the spring and connection with the universe. Start with even the at times seed, apple, spring, then
Mhm.
universe. Always try to uh, help us to gain the holistic approach of looking the universe. Don't get
Mhm.
lost in the seed. Make a
Mhm.
connection with the universe
Yeah.
and the unity
Interesting.
of God. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good one. Good one. Excellent soru hocam. Yeah, yeah, Kul hocam. Yeah, please
I can't say anything to better that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a perfect understanding of this
Mhm.
explanation, rather, of
Mhm.
this footnote. Yes, I mean, this is the 10th word, so everything
Mhm.
here is geared towards helping us to understand that akhirah is supremely possible. Because if today is possible, tomorrow is possible, right?
Mhm.
No one says, "Oh, it's Monday. I don't think there'll ever be another Monday. How could there be another Monday?" Well,
Yeah.
how many Mondays have we gone through so far? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so if it's
Mhm.
possible, whatever it is that's bringing Monday to us can
Mhm.
obviously bring Monday again, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whatever it is, I mean, this is
Mhm.
for those who are a bit skeptical or maybe they're
Mhm.
unbelievers.
Mhm.
Whoever it is that brings us the spring, which
Mhm.
is the resurrection really of all the things which had died in the autumn.
Mhm.
Surely, they can bring it again. I had a friend. Oh, I still have a friend.
Mhm.
She's terrified of winter.
Mhm.
She's terrified of it. She has a phobia about winter because she says, "I think that spring won't come."
Mhm.
So I say to her, "Look, I know how old you are, and
Mhm.
I know how many years you've
Mhm.
seen spring come. Why are
Spring.
you
Yeah.
doubting it?"
Yeah.
you know the same. I mean, she's not a believer, but I say to her, the same force, if you want to believe in a force that
Mhm.
brought spring last year, is, as far as we can understand, and you've been alive for all this time and you've never seen it any different, will bring
Mhm.
the spring next year. So
Yeah.
this is something that Ustad uses these beautiful analogies, really.
Mhm.
These
Yeah.
mini resurrections he shows us all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Whoever's capable of waking you up in the morning after you've been asleep all night, in this state of like almost suspended animation, is obviously capable of doing exactly the same when you actually die.
Hmm.
You know, so there are so many mini resurrections that we see. There are so many
Hmm.
analogies,
Hmm.
and allegories and examples that Ustad
Hmm.
gives,
Hmm.
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds throughout the
Hmm.
Risale.
Right.
And they're very, very helpful.
Yeah.
But it needs someone who can look at them openly
Hmm.
and not with prejudice,
Hmm.
open their mind and their heart to them. And
Hmm.
I don't understand why
Hmm.
anyone would reject any of these
Yeah.
analogies and examples, to be honest.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, yeah. Well, just to add your like yeah to look at them and then at least I'm trying to see them. Yeah, like you just said, yeah, these are great kind of things, and the repetition, right? Isn't it so? Like this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah Almighty repeatedly, He shows us, yeah, the multiplicity. Maybe just the kind of multiplicity is also like is also these actions, right? The occurrences, multiple times that it happens over and over and over. Like you just said, like in a Monday just went through, like yeah, just next week, yeah, it's gonna be again like another Monday, yeah, yeah,
The
and then
the
we
thing
always,
is that it's never the same Monday twice. There's
yeah,
always going to be something
absolutely,
different
isn't it?
happening as well. And
Yeah,
it
yeah.
goes back to a word that Said
Mhm.
used, Brother
Yeah.
Said used,
Mhm,
holistically.
mhm.
You know,
Yeah, that's also kind of I noticed.
holistically, because there
Yeah.
are there is a whole and there are parts, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm,
if you have a human body, uh,
mhm,
whoever you believe created the human body, or whatever you
mhm,
believe created the human body, if
mhm,
they created
mhm,
the right hand,
mhm.
they also created the left hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of the interconnection between the two,
Mhm,
there is this symbiotic relationship between
mhm,
all the different parts of the human body.
mhm,
Each part is itself a whole. If you look at the
mhm,
liver or the
mhm,
kidney or the
mhm,
heart or any organ, it
mhm,
is also a whole, and it also has parts, and those parts are
mhm.
also wholes.
Yeah.
And it's like one big hologram.
Mhm,
Uh, right? And every
mhm,
part
mhm.
of that whole has the imprints of the other parts on it.
Yeah.
So how can anyone look at the
Mhm,
universe and not see the interconnection and not see it as a whole and not
yeah.
understand it holistically?
Mhm, mhm,
The huge big systems, the cosmic systems, the rain cycle, rivers,
mhm,
wind, all of these things.
mhm.
They're all working together. Why can't we see it as a whole?
Yeah.
And whoever creates a part must
Mhm.
be able to create the whole. It's
Absolutely.
it's blindingly obvious. Maybe it's too obvious. I
Mhm.
don't know.
Maybe just like it's too perfect, like them working in a harmony that it's just maybe it just somehow hides himself, or like just somehow like maybe we just take everything for granted, like as usual, and then we don't see the harmony in it. We just see that oh, it must happen because it happened before, just a simple kind of statistics, and that's it. And then somehow, yeah, just close their eyes and yeah, just and
I
or
think
maybe
it's
just get
it's
drunken.
it's nature, isn't it? It's the whole idea of
The
nature.
whole idea nature.
That
Yeah.
became the magic word. Science.
Hmm. Hmm.
The
Hmm.
scientists rather.
Scientist. Yeah, yeah.
It's nature. It's natural. Don't look for a
Mhm.
supernatural source.
Supernatural.
It's
Oh,
natural, but
yeah.
they never say
Yeah.
what they mean by natural. You
Absolutely.
know.
Yeah. And then, yeah. But when you try to explain it, oh, it's supernatural, then, yeah. And they want to believe like it is a natural side, but they don't want to believe this. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's a great discussion. Yeah. It's well done. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. It's perfect. Maybe I should ask like to just the brothers or sisters, like, is anyone would like to jump in? Any questions so far, or anyone would like to add anything else? Just feel free just to raise your hand. All right, so far. All right, maybe we can continue. Maybe one more paragraph. Oh, just we only have just yeah, and then maybe we can just finish this seven truth. All right, so the last paragraph, one more, just very only 2 minutes. It continues, and then maybe we can give it a end for this week's second meeting. So, given this, so the last paragraph, power of his. Is it possible that humans could hide from him and escape his justice? If the human race is not called to account and judged accordingly while in this world, it follows that they must be taken to a supreme tribunal and proceed to a final realm of felicity or misfortune. If the human race is not called to account and judged accordingly while in this world, it follows that they must be taken to a supreme tribunal and proceed to a final realm of felicity or misfortune. And I guess this is the one that has been asked, I believe, repeatedly. Like Gulajan mentioned about his friend, and we all have like some friends. Like sometimes like just we talk about it, and this question pops up like this in every single time, like whenever we talk about the religion and hereafter, and of course in all the uh just transactions or whatever like has been going on like in life or some sort of kind of mishappenings or just like somehow like someone's getting harmed or like it's been or maybe don't see any justice. But this is the question, this is the part I believe. And what would you like to say? Let me just ask to my panelists like today. So about this last part of with everything just taken account, with all seven truths considered together. And with everything, looking at footnotes and the references and everything, what would you like to say, especially for this last sentence, the part about the just holistically, of course, I'm just now connecting and linking everything to what we talked so far. And of course, I'm just in the hereafter. So absolutely, that's what it says, like Supreme Tribunal. Let's go back to Musojam. So any last thoughts and last kind of just words, and especially for the last paragraph.
Sure. So there are things that comes to my mind, but I just sometimes it will take too much time to discuss. So I
That's all
sometimes
right. Yeah, we can
you
listen. Yeah.
you know the first emotionally at least
Mhm,
let me say this when you read this kind of chapters
mhm,
it so a couple things. So first of all, being a human is it something maybe I simplify it too much, I don't know, but so is it something to be proud of, um, at the same time be very thankful.
mhm,
So we have because we have a special place,
mhm,
before Allah subhanahu wa
mhm,
ta'ala. And it's
mhm,
also it's a big responsibility,
mhm,
right? So if
mhm.
somebody gives you
Absolutely.
a
Mhm,
position, a manager position in a company, right?
mhm,
So this is a promotion, let's say,
mhm,
and it's it's something to be proud of, but at the
mhm.
same time you have to be worried about the responsibilities that comes with it, right?
Yeah.
So and you're gonna be hold into account about what you are doing.
Mhm,
Maybe throughout your manager position for
mhm,
years, nobody will ask anything, and then at the end of that position, let's say at the end of the year or something, they will
mhm.
ask you what you have done, what you have been successful, and what are the wrongness that you have, and they will be brought out to
Yeah.
this, court or justice or whatever, you will be
Mhm.
held accountable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's
this is
absolutely
yeah,
true.
this is a great responsibility. It's sometimes it makes you feel
Mhm,
under a burden, right? It's a
mhm,
burdensome
mhm,
responsibility.
mhm,
It's also so in one sense it's a responsibility, and from another point of view, it also gives you a relief
mhm,
that everything is in control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
mhm,
So some things, some bad things, some painful things seem to be, kind of, sometimes we, uh, unfortunately, maybe it's a weakness of human or whatever. You are focused on the effects too
mhm,
much, and you see things as kind of a coincidental or accidental,
mhm,
and the wars and everything around you and things like that, or some small things even in your life, and
mhm.
you sometimes forget that everything whatever happens is meant to happen by Allah subhanahu wa
Mhm,
ta'ala,
mhm.
and everything is in control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you hold yourself back with these discussions, right, and think
Mhm,
that whatever happened, it has to happen, and Allah
mhm,
has control of over everything. And if there is a misbehavior, it's if
mhm,
there is something bad, it's actually because of human beings.
mhm,
And if that makes you painful, you shouldn't be worried about it, because Allah will hold all of those guys
mhm,
accountable, right?
mhm, mhm,
Uh, so and Allah meant it to be that way as well. So there
mhm,
are so many
mhm.
aspects of iman, right?
Yeah.
And those guys that seems are worried about coming, the next winter is gonna come, or the next summer is going to come, sees that, because they see everything is accidental, so they don't have a clue of what is going to happen. But for us, everything is in control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever happens, it has to happen. And Allah is gracious, Allah is merciful, Allah is loving, all loving. And so this also gives us an ease and peace in our heart. So there are so many things that Iman right gives us so many aspects to think about,
Absolutely, absolutely.
and
Yeah.
to be aware of our responsibility and be more obedient, worshipful, and
Absolutely.
also restrain from go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam has repeatedly tried to be away from the hellfire, right? So we know all those du'as, Allahumma ajirna minan nar. We do these du'as every after salah as well. Allahumma ajirna minan nar. Allahumma, and we know in Jawshan as well. So we should be also try to be away from hellfire, because we know we have a lot of misdoings. Maybe we think we might have some shirk hafi, right? A hidden shirk
Yeah.
in some of our thoughts or actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is my take.
All right. Yeah. No, well done. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Wajam. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, just you looked at like this, yeah, kind of just the different aspects. You almost kind of reminded me some sixth word, seventh word, or like eighth word. Yeah. Just putting your trust and looking into, yeah, great perspective. Awesome. Awesome. Kumajam, what would you like to say as the kind of last word or last comment for this paragraph and what Mustafa said?
Again, the nice thing about going second is that the other person has said, in this case, Mustafa, everything that
Yeah.
really needs to be said.
Yeah.
It's just, you mentioned, people complain or ask questions, why is there injustice here? Why is this, X or Y or Z, or all
Yeah.
of these terrible things which
Terrible
are
things.
happening?
Yeah, we get
Most
it
of the
wrong.
most of the problems which are caused, which lead to people asking those questions, are caused by human beings. Uh, there's no such thing as natural evil. Regardless of what the naturalists say or the materialists say. And so, therefore, we have to look, if you want to be free as a human being, then you have to countenance the existence of things which you may not like, because your freedom is tied up in that, right? If there is goodness, and of course, goodness is what all things which are created are good. If you want goodness, then how can you know what goodness is unless you have a taste of the opposite, a taste of its absence, rather?
Yeah.
Because there is no opposite to goodness. Goodness comes in degrees. So, it's an inexorable law of creation that all of the divine attributes will come in degrees. And because they come in degrees, we see absence. We don't see 100% Rahma. We don't see 100%, of the divine names. We see the divine names manifested in degrees. And because we are in the realm of multiplicity, in the realm of createdness, and the realm of mortality, in the realm of transience, we have to bear these things which people think are burdens, or examples of evil, although evil has no external existence, of course. This is just part of being human. Would you rather not have that, but actually not understand anything at all? Because you can't understand anything unless you have something to compare it with. And therefore, goodness and beauty and grace and generosity and all of those things, all of the divine attributes and qualities, have to have the not the opposite, but they have to have their absences, the absences of those names as well, or the apparent absences, as part of the whole drama.
Mhm.
Otherwise you wouldn't be able to progress. You
Mhm.
wouldn't be able to understand anything. You wouldn't be human.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. That's a great point. Yeah, just of course I'm just living, yeah, in that, and of course I'm just living today like as just as you just like said, and then of course I'm saying I'm saying like look at everything like just from different perspective today, like we learn, and of course holistically and just as a human being. So yes, we need to understand like and everything to a degree, to a point. Yeah, perfect, awesome, awesome. I was really pleased to be. Again, as always, of course, we're part of this discussion on Sunday, and I would like to thank our panelists joining us today, like Nicole Najam and Mustafa Jam, and of course, questions of Said Jam and Ikmar Jam as well. And thank you so much for being us, like with today, and really appreciate it. And it was a great kind of discussion. And yeah, maybe it's a good time to end our meeting for this week. And let's call Mustafa. Mustafa, is he still there? Our organizer.